reason stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. I know. I'm bored. I got like so much shit to do. And yeah, I don't know how to get to doing any of it. Maybe I should write it down and it's too much. I'm trying to keep things simple. But the thing is, everything kind of connects. My podcast is very much a part of the Hayworth house. The lives that I do are, you know, I'm just doing the best that I can. That's all the sharing I'm going to do. That's all the sharing I'm going to do. Okay. I got things going on here too, so you'll have to forgive me. All right. Setting up a podcast. It's part of the Big Papa's Ranch thing that he's doing. That'll probably go kind of slow. The person running it, he's got things going on. And I'd rather he took care of himself and was around longer than put any effort into what I'm doing. Honestly. I would rather, he take care of himself because I love him. All right. And this guy is doing some good. I feel like he's a little bit too big. And when I say too big, I usually have people on that don't have a chance. That's my stuff is that's how I work it. And all right. So I have a podcast on Saturday and I have a podcast on Monday. So it's starting to build back up again. I will let you know if you're wanting to tell your story, and I've been asking you, you might want to book it because we're starting to get, I don't want to say popular, but we're getting better known. And I have a lot of, I have listeners from all over Australia, Germany. Man, no Russians yet. No Russians. Can you give me 20 minutes? All right. Yes, I am not. Nobody's here though, so I can kind of keep this. I can kind of keep this. I was just bored. Does my behavior fit my goals? And these are what's going to be considered my actions and the things that I'm doing. Some people don't want to listen. They think, oh, we got our way and we're gonna do this or we're gonna because that's what the public wants. And, you know, Adams County asked a bunch of people what they want. They asked me things like that, but they ain't going to change it. They're not going to take any consideration into that. I can tell you that. All right, you got it. Right on. Okay, so I'll call you in 20 minutes. See, sometimes I ask God, hey, I need some direction, and that's what happened. That guy, I mean, it was almost immediate that somebody reached out and said, hey, Dion, you know, um, I don't like to pressure people into things. This is a natural thing. If you want to be a part of, great. Awesome. I will do whatever I can to make you a part of. I will do whatever I can to make you feel like you belong in that group. Because you do. Almost everything I do has intentions behind it. Actually, everything I do has intentions behind it. I think of things. I think of you. I think of me. I think how it might affect somebody else. These are all questions I need to ask myself. Am I a fit? Do I fit into this? Is a good question. How do I fit into this? Am I causing more confusion than harmony? Sometimes I have to cause a little confusion to get to the harmony. See, I know some things like you won't change or listen unless it affects you. Yeah, it's just how people are, right? So here's the thing. I'll give a great example. There's one person I work with in Adams County. They're the director. No, that she doesn't understand at all. She doesn't get what I'm saying. Then I have another person that I work with at Adams County that loves working with us, and they're in Al-Anon. They get what we're doing. They understand it. So, how to ho, how to hi, how to ha, how to ho. Good to have you. My Facebook is blowing up. Considering I'm like, it's funny because even my one of my pages like, you are making a big difference. I'm like, I'm on restriction, motherfuckers. What are you talking about? They're like, you're earning this and you're earning. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm on restriction. Are you not? Don't sit there and tell me I don't need Facebook to give me attaboys. Thanks, though. In fact, what it tells me is that's not the right route to go. Does my behavior fit my goals? What are my goals right now? My goals are podcasting, getting my grassroots meeting going up. Bill's friends, it's probably I don't know what's gonna happen with it. We'll see tonight. We'll see tonight. I'm slowly taking it away if it doesn't work. Okay. And it's not because it has to do with the fact that I could spend my time better than sitting there picking my nose on Zoom waiting for people. It has nothing to do with popularity or anything else. It's I want to be in the right place at the right time to help as many people as I can. At the same time, if people show up and there's 3, 4 people, I'll continue doing it. I'll continue doing it because it needs to happen. That those small meetings need to happen also. How do you get a big meeting? With a small meeting. That's what I would think anyway. Right? Now, I have like 15 different things. That's what it seems like anyway, but really I only have a few. Right? I'm working through my goals here because I'm not sure what to do, even though God gave me some direction. I'm doing a phone call. Right? I'm doing a lot of stuff in Oklahoma, believe it or not. The only reason I have not moved out of Colorado is because my kids and my grandchildren live here. It's the only reason I'm here. Oh, because I feel like I could go to some of these other states that are doing well, and I can help them doing what they're doing Here, I have to be a leader through wading through bullshit, and it's very frustrating. Now, I have to think, well, wait a minute. If God wanted me to move to Oklahoma, he would have moved my ass to Oklahoma, but I'm here in Adams County, of which I didn't want to move to. Okay, we were living in Aurora. I had a lot of good things going on. God said, hey, Dion, you're moving, dude. I didn't want to. Okay. But it was part of the family. And my wife said, we're doing this, so we're doing it. It's just, there are some things when your significant other says we're doing it, you're doing it. Because even though I don't want to do it, I knew she was right. I knew she was right. So we move here, right? And I get to know a great person, right? I'm forgetting everybody's names. I'm just going to admit it. Barb. Thank you, God. I would have been pissed if I forgot her name. She was the person who owned this house. And the choice was, and we'd already kind of been taking, my wife had been kind of coming over, taking care of her. And the choice was she was either going to go to assisted living or we move here and take care of her and she can have a better end of days. And that's what we did instead. And then after she passed, her best friend needed help. So we helped her also. They both passed here in the house. Okay. This is what we do. This is when I say that I work the front lines, I'm not shitting you. I work the front lines every day. I enjoy it. It's dirty, but it works. It works. Now, sure, things are kind of frustrating, but I've made more advances here in Adams County than I could have ever made in Aurora. See? I wouldn't have, I moved up north and I started acquiring more friends, like Amber. A lot of people that show up here. See? Even though I didn't want it, I was wrong. Right? And I had a good attitude because we were helping somebody, and isn't that what mattered? And it turned out to be something much better. Then my brother-in-law saw that we were gone. I think he recognized, oh shit, Dion did all the fucking housework, and he got busy. Got his life back together, his spirituality. He's a very religious guy. I've always respected that about him. He's the kind of guy where no sex before marriage. Now he's got a good girl in his life. Things are going better. Yay. See, it was supposed to happen. Now what he's saying is we're looking at moving in together when we get married, and he wants to make the house a sober living. See, I already have a transitional house ready for Aurora, Colorado. I was actually treated nicer in Aurora than I am here. Yeah. Uh, Aurora is its own animal. We'll just put it that way. There are some really good things about Aurora. There are. There are some great parts. Aurora is the largest city in Colorado. It is bigger. It is bigger than Denver. So, but I hear you. I hear you. There's just some parts of Aurora, yeah, I don't belong in. I'll just put it that way. But I also don't belong walking around 5 Points either. Okay. But I hear what you're saying. Safety, safety. I understand that. Um, yeah, I think it's to each their own too. I do prefer it up north here, even though I'm not treated as well. It's more lax. It's more lax. I will not live in downtown Denver. I lived there for years and years and years. I lived on Skid Row. No thanks. It's too hustle bustle for me. Personally, I would rather have a plot of land and just be left the fuck alone. Honestly, that's that sounds great to me. I'd prefer it in the mountains, but I'll go east if I have to. All right. Just too many people. I got the fucking highway behind my house, and yeah, just a lot of people. You know, it's 222. Um, yeah. So, do my actions, is what I'm saying and what I'm doing the same thing? You know, but I think the big question in here is, does it fit? Does it fit? So, I know this one's going to be a little bit shorter, but somebody's kind of waiting on my phone call now, and I don't want to leave them hanging. I don't know that how much more I have to say on this without repeating myself a lot. You know, uh, there's a lot of things that come to my mind that never make it to the daily trudge. That frustrates me sometimes. I need to find something to help me focus a little bit better now that I'm not on some of my meds. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I need a little time to just hang out, I guess. Sometimes I just want to yak. You know, I'm here alone today. And yeah, just, I don't feel bad or anything like that. I'm actually in a pretty good mood. Everything just feels weird. It feels weird. And I don't know what to start on. Right. And so I asked God for some direction. And then 2 minutes later, Ryan reaches out. He says, "Hey, we're supposed to do something this weekend. I haven't heard from so and so." So we set up our time. We went ahead and did it. And I'm like, we should probably talk first. I mean, I don't know this guy. I know him from Facebook, but he was referred by somebody. And it's one of those somebodies where you do it because I just trust him. I don't have to ask questions. He knows what I'm looking for. So he feels this is a good fit. So it probably is. The worst case scenario, we get another good podcast. More people know about what he's doing. That's the worst case scenario in this. So why not? Why not help the guy out? Right? Um, he's not doing it the way that I would want to do it, but I'm finding, so what? Right? But he's also one of those people where I said, "Hey, if you tried this, probably work a little bit better." Seems like a pretty open-minded kid, and we need people like that. The kid's got hustle. Kids got hustle. Something I don't. I don't know how people take all these pictures and do the work. And this, do you have somebody that follows you around or something that does that shit? But I don't know, man. Yeah. And since I don't understand it, it makes me feel stupid, and that just makes me mad. You're like, "Well, you produce this." I'm like, I'm not my stuff must come out pretty fucking good because I don't know what producing is. I don't know what a producer does, but clearly I am one. I don't want to be a producer. I want to be a guy that helps people. That's why there's no flashy shit here. I don't use filters. I don't use AI to improve things. I don't, although I might start doing that. What I'm thinking about doing is making little commercials for the podcast. But here's the thing with the podcast. Let's say you do your podcast with me today. If I wait 2 or 3 days to put that out, your excitement has left. And what happens is you don't share it as much. And then I don't get as many viewers. So it almost always has to come out on the same day, or the excitement leaves and the numbers will go bloop, because I don't promote it. Okay. The only way that you're going to find the podcast is if you hear about it from somebody. This is the way that it works. And this is what I tell everybody. Your listeners are dependent upon if you share it. If you don't share it, you're not going to get anybody. That's how I get my new listeners, is by bringing people on. Then they share it with their friends, and then their friends like what we did, so they listen. And sometimes those friends are like, hey, I would like to try something like that. Okay, see, it's supposed to be, it's a pay it forward thing. And if it doesn't work that way, it won't work. And I've tried different ways and things like that. Kind of like the Daily Trudge. I tried to make it consistent. It didn't work. Didn't work. I thought it might work because there was another person involved and I hadn't tried that yet. No, didn't work. Why? Because life happens. Life happens. I can't expect somebody else to come on here with me at 11 o'clock every single day and make it. No, that is an unreasonable expectation. That's why it can't be. See, everything I do is in God's time, period. Otherwise, it doesn't work. I will fuck it up. I know that. Left to my own devices, Dion won't do whatever the fuck he wants. And that's a problem. So, yeah, my behavior does fit my goals. That includes when I get upset or angry or depressed or sad or happy or excited or serene or anything. You know, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting on the house. How come other people get these houses? Well, because Dion, they go about it the wrong way. And do you want to be in that situation? Well, no, I don't. Then you're going to have to fucking wait. Okay? I tried to look for houses in areas. I'm not very good at it. I think I might need some help. You know, we're not looking at owning, we're looking at renting a house. Maybe I need to sit down and do the numbers. Let's say I got 10 guys in there, they're each paying $700. Well, that's $7,000. I think I can pay the rent. See how I kept that number small? You want to know why? Because part of their paycheck is going into their savings account. So when they move out, they have money. It could be one of the requirements of the money. Yeah, we are going to control their money. Yes. We're talking about homeless alcoholics. Give them money. You know what they're going to do? Drink. I know these things, right? If they smoke, they don't need to go buy cigarettes. I will give them a pack of cigarettes. Like I'll give them a pack of cigarettes every day. They don't need to go buy them. The house will supply this stuff. Yes. See, it's different. It is different. They're not going to need to buy their own food. We have food. It's about reintegration. It's about giving these people every fucking chance in the world. There's a big difference. It's easier to focus on your recovery when you know where you're going to sleep that night and when you get to determine when you eat. When you're homeless, you don't even get to determine when you eat. That is done by the hospitality of others. And if you miss it, you don't get your bologna sandwich for the day. The things that we take advantage of are arduous for them. So when I say, no, I'm not grateful to have a roof over my head, I mean it. I'll be grateful when everyone has a roof over their head. Then I'll be grateful for it. But I just can't be grateful for things that are less fortunate for other people. I wish I had a car and then see a person going by in a wheelchair. No, I still wish I had a car. But now I wish that person had a car too. That's how I've always thought. That's how I've always thought. So, all right, Amber, thanks. Thank you. You didn't, I know that you're just listening, but the fact that you're here, you know, when people come on here, I know it's weird, but I'm taking your energy. It always turns out different when that number turns at least one. You'll get a different Dion, because otherwise I'm just sitting here talking to myself, and I talk to myself differently. And yes, I do talk to myself. Hey, if I can't have a decent conversation with myself, how am I going to have one with you? I love you. Peace out.